Hey, it's Aaron, and today I'm with the 2023 Mercedes-Benz EQE. We did a review of the EQS not too long ago. This is a smaller version of the same car, a little bit cheaper, smaller interior, smaller in size overall, but still really good to drive. Really nice car. So the standard model of this, which is what we're looking at right now, it can have a range up to 400 miles per charge. That depends on the battery pack choice that you make. This one has the smaller pack, so the range on this is under 300. It's about 280, give or take. Real world, you're probably going to get about 250 out of this vehicle. But if you pay a little bit more, you can get up to 400. You can also get an AMG model of this. The AMG variant will have about the same random stuff blowing through the lot. So the AMG model will have about the same range this one does, somewhere around the 280 miles, but it will have 400 horsepower, which is roughly double what you have here. What you have here is, I believe, in the high 200s. I don't remember the exact number, but it's really good. So, yeah, doesn't matter. The torque is always there. This is a speedy little car. Wonderful to drive. So let's talk really quickly about charge times. If you're plugging this into a 110 outlet at your house, it's going to take days to charge it. That's true of any EV. But if you have a dedicated charger at 240 volts, so like I have a 240 50 amp, then this will charge entirely in somewhere around 8 hours. It's between 8 and 9 hours for this particular one at my charger. Now, if you have a higher end charger or you have access to a DC fast charger, this can charge in minutes. Most people are probably going to be charging off of a 220, 240 volt. So anyway, nicely done. Fuel economy in this, it's hard to say, but electrical fuel economy. I drove this the 42 mile loop that I usually do on the highway, and doing that, I topped it off 100% at my house, took it out, did that, came back to my house, plugged it back in, measured the amount of electricity used, and this is on par with almost every efficient EV out there. That 42 miles of driving was highway driving, so it actually used up about 50 miles of range from the car. That's going by the car's computer. Going by the amount of power it used, that's roughly equivalent. So you're looking at around somewhere in the neighborhood of 1.7, I believe, which is, I think it was 1.7. I'll have to look it up. I'll put some stuff on the screen. So anyway, wonderful car. So let's talk about the design a little bit, because I brushed on that with the EQS, but it was bitter cold and I didn't have time. So this time let's spend a little more time on the styling, because they are very similar. And then I'll talk a little bit about the interior, and yeah, we'll wrap this up. So seeing the car from the side here, you can see that it's very sleek. So it's along the band of Mercedes designs for sedans. Mercedes really likes to use the sleek and simple kind of classic design motif. It's very sloped in the front end. You can see it cuts very down. That's for two reasons. One, it's indicative that there is only a motor under here. There is no engine, so there's more space. Also, it's just a sleek way to make the whole car look just really smooth in its design. There's not very many lines going on here. You have kind of a clamshell for the hood here, which, by the way, you cannot open unless you have the mechanic's key, which I don't have, but you can, if you buy the car, you'll get one. But to make things simpler, instead of making that all complicated and stuff, if you need to refill the washer fluid in here, you just do it right there. So yeah, no, you don't have to have that key with you all the time. And you can also, I believe, open this from the Mercedes app if you set that up. So looking at the lines, you just see they flow really nicely. It's kind of a fastback cutoff back there. No heavy lines on the bodywork. Everything is smooth and rounded. Very, very good looking. You see the mirrors right here. They fold in when it's locked. So if I lock it really quick, you can see they fold in. And then if I unlock it, you can see they come back out, and you can see the handles pop out. The handles also pop out when the key fob comes within range. And if you have the key fob somewhere around the car and you have that turned off for whatever reason, you can just press where this little button is and it will do it for you. It also locks the car. So if I do this, it will lock the car up. See that? So really cool design, and some quick little things like that are just kind of nice to have. You don't notice them until you're using them, and then you realize, wow, that's pretty cool, they thought of that. So very simple, sleek, nicely done design. Lots of light, lots of light despite the fact that there is no heavy bodywork lines. There's a nice curve right here. It's fat and gentle, and then it comes in just slightly, and then you have this line right here to create a dark spot down there. Very, very well done. So trunk is a good size. I'm not going to bother looking at that right now. Let's talk about the interior. The back seats are wonderful. I fit in them really, really well, but I want to focus on the front because there's a whole lot of stuff happening in here. So in the interior here, I'll show you a couple pictures as we go when I point out things that really aren't visible from there. But first I want to talk about how comfortable it is. Feels really good to be sitting here. There's tons of seat adjustment, lots of options for moving around. There's beautiful inlay. This is real wood with texture inlay over here. This has the Burmester stereo system, which is top notch. It has ambient interior lighting you can do in multiple colors. So not only can you have like different colors for, say, the bands that are across here, it's kind of purplish right now, but you can have a second color going on like the door handles and things like that, and you can change those. You can have them change on their own. You can have all kinds of cool ambient options, all done through this infotainment screen. Pretty good cruise control, pretty good controls for everything. You have to get used to a couple of things. There's no physical dial for like volume. You have to use this swipe up here, but you get pretty good at moving your thumb slower and faster depending on how much volume you want to gain, how quickly. One thing that I have noticed is that sometimes the forward collision mitigation is a little jumpy. Had a chunk of cardboard. It was about the size of a tin can that blew across the road. The car slammed the brakes and acted like that was going to end everything. And yet, a day or so later, I'm driving down the road and a squirrel runs out in the middle of the road. The car completely ignores it. I would have hit it if I hadn't stopped the car. So weird nuances going on there. I'll show you the infotainment. Here's a couple pictures of it. Really well done up here. There's some vehicle settings you can play with. Lots of usefulness in that infotainment, and very easy to understand and manipulate. Really smart setup on there. You have a lot of storage in here. There's drink holders that go away to make a bigger storage space. There's the center console here, and so on. Plenty of USB plugs. You got seat heating, seat cooling, you have all that good stuff in here. So really well done and very nice to drive. The head up is just right to give you the information you need, and it just feels really good to be on the road in this car. Very quick, of course, because it's electric, but really just smooth all the time. And that's true of all of the EQ series I've driven so far. I've driven all three. So wonderful, wonderful setup. All right, let's wrap this up. All right, so that's all I got. This is the 2023 Mercedes-Benz EQE. It is a wonderfully well done electric car, highly competitive and just very nice. Very high price point. If you're not in the market for serious luxury vehicles, this is probably not the car for you. Out of the three in the EQ series, this is the lowest priced. but you're still going to be hovering towards that 6-digit range when you're buying this. So yeah, if you're not in that market, this isn't your car. But very, very well done. Beautiful leather on the inside, beautiful wood, beautiful everything. And most of it is renewable sourced, right? So most of it is eco-sourced, I should say. Just a wonderful, great car. So very good job for Mercedes. I really like these cars. All of the EQs have been very, very good. So there you go. This has been Aaron. 2023 Mercedes EQE. Talk to you again soon.